if you haven't seen it, you got to find the Will Ferrell Edmonton Oilers edit.
Oh, I haven't seen this. This sounds great.
Okay, so Will Ferrell is a
big
well-known
LA
Kings fan.
He goes, he paints his face, he sits in the front row and screams.
So they have like a hype video with him that they must play before games, where it's like, "Let's go Kings fans."
With him, like, live?
No, it's pre-recorded.
Oh, pre-recorded. Okay.
But yeah, it's
him. Because he's always there.
Yeah.
Even Will Wheaton. Will Wheaton's a big Kings fan, too.
So the Oilers took it and, video edited it so he's wearing all Oilers gear.
Yay.
And then they edited it so he's like, "All right, Edmonton Oilers fans, let's go!"
So basically, they pulled a Control and made a fake Will Ferrell, killing his doctors.
Now we have to keep all this in.
There's your segue.
Go Oilers!
Goilers.
With that, welcome to episode 393 of A Star to Steer Her By.
Go
I'm
Oilers!
Chris.
This is
Go
James.
Oilers.
This is Caitlin.
Jake!
Sorry.
That's all right, we kind of...
I heard Go Oilers, so I was just kind of like, okay, they're still talking about whatever.
No, we are actually doing the episode in our weirdest opening ever.
Hooray.
No,
maybe.
Far from it.
Yeah, no.
That's true.
I'm pretty sure we have like
There's a
cold,
poop in the butt.
I was just gonna say, I'm pretty sure there's a cold open of us going, poop in the butt,
Poop in the butt, poop in the butt, poop in the butt.
poop. Anyway. Great. Another one of our loudest episodes.
Yes.
Yay!
So, this week we are looking at Project Daedalus, or Daedalus, I guess. It's up to you how you want to say it. I've always said Daedalus.
She said Daedalus.
She said Daedalus.
Yeah, I've always said Daedalus.
Yeah, but I think it's one of those 6 of one, half dozen of the other things.
Not to be confused with the Enterprise episode of Daedalus.
It's pronounced Daedalus. What's the difference? One is my name.
Yay!
And not to be confused with the Daedalus class. The technically still not officially seen sphere instead of saucer ship. There's like a model of one on, I want to say, Cisco's desk?
The Olympia had a sphere.
Yes, but I mean the original one was the Daedalus class.
Ah, okay.
It's sort of accepted in fandom, but I don't think it's ever been formally canonized.
You ever seen the movie Space Camp?
No.
Heard of it, never seen it.
Yeah, it's a terrible kids movie. It might have been like a Disney Channel movie.
Yeah, I think
Side
so.
note, there's your 10 forward.
I don't think so. But the premise is a bunch of kids it was an ad for Space Camp, if you recall. That was always a prize.
Oh, that was such a thing in the early 90s.
Yeah, every kid wanted to go to Space Camp because it looked badass.
Yeah, it was on Legend of the Hidden Temple all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So this is basically an ad for that, and the premise of the film, if I recall, is the kids in Space Camp get the opportunity to be on the space shuttle when they're doing a engine test.
Wow.
And it's supposed to be very cool. And of course it goes wrong, and they
course.
accidentally get launched into space.
What? They by themselves?
I think their teacher, their counselor, or whatever is with them.
Oh, Kate Capshaw's
Yes,
in it.
Kate Capshaw.
Who's that?
Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
Mrs. Steven Spielberg.
Oh gosh. Which one is Temple of Doom? Is that
That's the
second
roll
one.
around
Oh, right.
shot
She
Short
said
round.
screaming. Joe?
Yeah.
Joe.
Hey, Tom Skerritt.
Is her name Joe?
Her name is it's like a girl's name that's a boy's name.
Yeah, isn't it? I think it's
Willie. It's Willie.
Oh, is it Willie? Oh, then
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Well, I don't know that I've probably seen the movie at least once. I don't remember it at all, and I only remember Willie from Lego Indie. Watching you play Lego Indiana Jones.
But anyway, So anyway, the thing is, in Space Camp, I think either space shuttle or something that they did in space was like Project Daedalus.
Oh, really? Oh, that's how we got on this sidetrack.
Actually, surprisingly, stacked cast.
I mean,
for a shitty 80s,
Oh, it's from the 80s?
Oh, yeah, but it's got, young...
young Joaquin Phoenix, who was
yeah.
credited as Leaf. Anyway, that's what we're here for.
Are you shitting me?
According to Wikipedia. So, what are we actually here for?
His name is Leaf?
Or maybe there's another Phoenix?
Bro, what the fuck is wrong with
everything
their
I find points back to him. Anyway, Project Daedalus, we start off... how the fuck I've confused myself so much now because of this.
Chess? Are we playing chess?
We eventually play chess. So yeah, we are gonna go... Oh yeah, that's right. We're gonna go see Section 31. They've Despite
Cornwell drops.
Yeah, right.
Despite being
fugitives,
Discovery has rung up Cornwell, who's like, yeah, maybe it's time to side with the fugitives. We have an interrogation with Spock where he thinks he's telling the truth, but apparently no one in Starfleet has heard of fucking deep fakes because they're like, but the footage. And Spock's in a mood, so Burnham decides they're gonna play chess. They have an amazing argument, and he breaks her chessboard.
When you say an amazing argument...
Oh, I loved the way they acted that scene.
well-acted argument.
Okay, that's fair.
No, yeah, I mean, I loved the way it was acted, yes. And then...
A lot of well-acted stuff this episode.
Yeah.
That's true.
Then
really.
We go to Section 31, and there's space mines, and they start getting thrown at the ship, and we eventually get there. In the background, meanwhile, Ariam's having so many, I've been hacked problems, and Non seems to be noticing, but never does anything about it. We get to Section 31... And Admiral, not Picard, but Petard is like... Petard, rather, yes.
Hoisted by her own petard.
I was going to make a hoisted by her own petard joke later, but I've ruined it.
Well, really, we've ruined it.
No, I did by saying petard.
Oh, fair enough, okay.
But Admiral Petard, turns out, was also deep-faked, and this whole thing has been orchestrated by Control, the Section 31 AI program that has gone rogue. Shock. And now it has stolen sphere data about AIs to make itself stronger. So Ariam has to sacrifice herself because otherwise she's going to kill everybody.
What a bummer.
The end.
So it turns out, interestingly, that I believe we're to understand that it's Control itself that has hijacked that station and killed everybody.
Yep.
So in a roundabout way, I guess more in the literal way, Admiral Petard was hoisted by her own petard.
That was going to be my joke, yes. Because she'd been putting too much faith in Control.
It's like in WALL-E when autopilot goes bad.
Yeah.
Except way more catastrophic.
Wait, which one? WALL-E or this?
This.
Okay.
Yeah. WALL-E was a children's movie, Chris.
Yeah, still. Yeah, questions I have. Like, Cornwell very casually drops that Petard is a logic extremist, and it's like, did everyone know this when she had the job?
Yeah, why is she running a fucking...
But then again,
terrorist?
Look at some of the people we have in government right now.
Yeah.
But what is a logic extremist? Like, what am I supposed to know? Like, what that really means?
Well, they're the terrorists that blew up the training center.
That tried to kill Michael.
They tried to kill Sarek last season.
Yeah.
Oh, I fucking completely forgot.
It was the guy that like had the explosive blood or whatever.
Well, guys, it took me like 8 years to remember who Tony Todd is, so nobody should be surprised that I haven't made this connection yet.
I suppose it's one of those things where they can be like, no, I mean, there are ones that go too far, but most of us just want to ask questions.
I had already forgotten about the attempt on Sarek in the Sarek memory episode.
Yeah. But yes, that was kind of an odd thing. So I feel like that needs to be explored more. But more importantly...
But like, fucking Section 31. Okay, who are we going to hire for our top brass? We're going to have a fucking terrorist Vulcan. We're going to have a genocidal emperor from the evil universe. We're going to have this fucking bald guy.
This fucking bald guy.
Oh, and don't forget the Klingon.
Oh, yeah. We'll have the fucking Klingon murder guy.
Klingon
with a human face.
Yeah, no, the thing is, I get it, because Section 31 is evil. You should be leery of them, but I don't know, again, that the showrunners understand that they're evil.
Well, I also don't understand, I'm fine with Section 31 being evil, but making them, a legitimate thing within Starfleet.
Yeah, aren't they supposed to be a shadow organization?
Well, they are by the time of Deep Space Nine, but evidently in this time period, they're more or less Starfleet intelligence.
Yeah, I don't think Petard was working with or working for Section 31. She was just an admiral.
I thought she was Section 31.
Yeah, no,
Cornwell. I missed all of it.
Cornwell mentions that Section 31 has admirals in this.
Oh.
Yeah, I think part of the idea of this season is maybe to try to explain why they're a weird shadow thing by the 24th century.
By making it more complicated.
Well, I think the idea would be man, Section 31 really went too far this time. I guess we should disband them. Wink.
Yeah.
Wink.
Which tracks. What also tracks were maybe, I think, one of the more interesting sort of metaphors of the episode.
Was it the chess?
No.
Of course it wasn't the chess.
Was, the little mini showdown between Cornwell and Pike, when Pike is like, wow, you guys really flushed your ethics down the fucking toilet while I was gone. It's like, yeah, well, that's why we had you be away, so that you could, be good. And he's like, okay. And I'm just like, That is such a, like, on-the-nose thing about how the world works, where it's like, governments commit atrocities, and then 20 years later, somebody says, oops, our bad. But it doesn't undo anything they've done, nor do they actually take any action to try to fix any of the damage beyond the, sorry. Because when you think about it, like, okay, let's say the Federation of Law has been wiped out. What the fuck is the Enterprise on its own supposed to do? Or even if you assume, like, maybe all the Constitution classes were sidelined because they were all on deep space missions anyway. We know from TOS there's 12 of them. What are they gonna do?
Okay, so explain to me, because I found, like, Cornwell saying, oh, we didn't want you involved because you represent the best of us. Meanwhile, we've been sending Discovery in to get themselves killed every fucking week.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. It's just like, wow,
well, everyone on the bridge should be feeling really upset about this.
They did kind of make faces. But they were, of course, the thing is, they were the best. Enterprise was the best of us. Discovery was the weapon.
Yeah, Discovery was the shit.
What is the point of telling us this thing about Enterprise being the best of us? Is it just for the audience to remember, like, oh yeah, Pike's good. We like Pike.
I mean,
why?
Yeah,
why have that?
That's
because
what I mean.
It doesn't make any sense that they were sidelined during the war, so this is just a retcon.
It's a terrible retcon. It sounds stupid as hell.
Well, because again,
retcons aren't usually very good in my experience.
What would they have done? Like, again, aside from having some records, great. Again, it feels very, like I said, on the nose of, like, you know, we have these symbols. Like, yeah, but symbols don't actually mean fuck all if you don't follow through on them. I think it really represents the clear moral degradation the Starfleet, the Federation went through during the war.
I'm not asking why Starfleet's doing this. I'm asking why the writers did this.
Oh, I think it's. I mean, again, I don't know if this was their intention, but to me, it very much reads as a criticism of obsessions with symbolism over action.
I think it reads as, if the Enterprise was in the Klingon War, it would have got blown the fuck up, and we needed to have the Enterprise, so we need to make up a reason.
We need it for another show.
That's what I mean.
If they're trying to make a statement, I don't think they made it. Is what I'm saying.
I think they weren't. I think it was just a one-off line that is never going to be referenced or thought of again.
Yeah.
This episode committed 2 sins.
Oh my!
Just 2?
2 sins.
Lust.
Well, there are 2 sins in particular I want to call
Gluttony.
out. So the first one we've already kind of talked about, and that is the overwrought metaphorical chess game.
Oh
yeah,
my
too much
fucking god!
But here's the thing:
yeah.
I feel like, in some sense, they subverted it a little bit because they didn't usually the chess metaphor ends up making sense.
Hi, buddy.
But I don't feel like there was. Like, it's about, like, 2 characters sparring intellectually, but we're using the chess as a metaphor, and then somebody goes, like, checkmate, and it's like, oh, they got you! But they didn't do that.
No,
I don't know, he got a checkmate when he smashed the shit out of the thing.
I mean, maybe that was the point, to try and, like, subvert that trope?
Oh, no, it's so Michael can come onto the bridge later with no context and say, we have to be more random.
We have to introduce chaos. Yeah, that's why.
Which they did 2 things. They did 2 random things, and then it was fine.
3?
You know what would have been made way more sense in canon for them, as opposed to being chess?
They should have been playing the game that they were talking about in the fucking... Kataskat.
Or Kotra.
I was going to say Calto.
Oh, Calto's a good one.
Because that's the one that's all about chaos and order. Because the whole point of it is you have the sticks that are all chaotic.
But would the audience recognize it? Because we've only seen that in Voyager.
No, they probably wouldn't recognize that.
That's also where we saw Kataskat.
Oh, that's true.
All right, but they've been talking about Kataskat in this.
Yeah, Kataskat.
At least this episode.
Kataskat in this episode isn't a metaphor unto itself.
No, it's not.
It's just a reference, and it's, if you don't remember it from Voyager, you'll still understand that, oh, it's a board game they play.
Yeah.
Chess is a metaphor, because chess is always a metaphor.
Yeah,
like
it's exhausting.
Kotra, son of a bitch.
Like, there should be some sort of, like, I want a moratorium on, not just Star Trek, but all media. Like, fucking cool it with chess for, like, a decade.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. That's what I say. Like, the overwrought chess metaphor is like, a thing, and every show does it, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's like a baseball episode.
The other sin that I want to call out is the giving your side character significant backstory in the episode where you kill them off.
Yeah. telling us all this shit about her and then fridging her is some fucking bullshit.
But it's it's like, oh wow, we need to kill off this character for the drama,
and we need someone to care about it.
Real bad. But no one's gonna give a shit about Robot Lady, so let's make her a human who was injured.
Yeah, because we never knew before what she even was.
I guarantee, because a lot of this season has been about like undoing shit that people were mad about, like the Klingons have grown their hair back and whatever else. But like, I guarantee last season she was probably supposed to be an android. But people complained because, like, in TOS, whenever they encountered androids, they were like, oh, shit, androids. We don't have those yet. So, like, they're never mind. She's a super cyborg.
Yeah, and then, like, but also they do the, we're going to, like, retroactively make her best friends with Tilly.
Everybody.
We've seen them together all the time.
Everybody loves Arium.
Well, it makes sense that they would all be close, though, because they're all, like, bridge crew, so, like, and if you only have, like, the people that you are on the ship with to be your friends.
Yeah.
We've never seen them interact.
That's the
but
problem.
we haven't really seen anybody interact in that way aside from Tilly and Burnham.
And
yeah,
this
exactly.
is and, like, people, okay, so this is...
And even them, not that much, really.
One of the complaints, and I think this came up when we had Carl on, too, that, like, one of the complaints about this show that a lot of people have is that, it's doesn't focus on the bridge crew. And I think the point that Carl made was like, well, that's okay because that's not what the show is about. The show is much
Except
more,
for episodes like this.
This show is much... And then I'm like, but then, and, like, I agree with Carl. I'm not, like, arguing with that, but I'm
gonna get Carl on the phone right now and tell him
I'm calling him out.
Jake says you're a bitch, actually.
No, I'm not calling out Carl. No, I just think that one of the nice things about having an established bridge crew with established relationships is that you can have an episode where one of them gets killed off and you'll actually give a shit about that character. Whereas in this case, it's like, shit, we spent 0 time establishing this character throughout the whole show so far, and now we want to kill them off, but we want the audience to feel something, so let's cram in this backstory that has never been alluded to ever, and let's cram in these relationships that have never been alluded to before, just so we can kill the character off in the last minute of the show. It just seems very lazy. It really upset me, and I don't care about it.
That's the thing. It's like, there's nothing wrong with not focusing on the bridge crew, but if you're going to have a noble sacrifice, it needs to be one of the not bridge crew you've been focusing on, instead of this character you've... Like, especially, like, again, like, I would have been more affected, in theory, by, like, Detmer. Because she's had more lines up to this point.
Yeah, we've seen things that have affected her, because she was on the Shenzhou with us.
And she's also a cyborg. They could have done the same shit with her.
Yeah.
Here's a quote.
Good.
Did you have a thing?
It's related to this, but you first.
So the quote is related to the thing.
Yeah.
So Dick Donato, who's apparently a podcaster, I'm not quite sure who it is, but this is on the Memory Alpha, so I found it.
Mm-hmm.
In the interim between the first and second seasons, Dick Donato declared to Discovery staff writers, I want to see her story being Arium's. Her story, I want to know what this character is about. What the hell is she? Where is she from? Like, all that stuff. So you have season 2 to clear that up for me. That's just my request.
Is this just some random podcast?
I think it's just some random podcaster.
We should start putting our own opinions into Memory Alpha.
Yeah, throw the quoties in there and everything. So yeah, I don't know. I highly doubt they did this because of this random podcast quote here. But yeah, to decide like, oh yeah, we should do that. It's too little, too late.
It's too little, too late, and the only reason they did it is because they knew they were killing the character off.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
So I've looked up this Dick Donato guy just to see, like, he's got a Wikipedia entry. He, I will have you know, was the winner of Big Brother 8.
Ooh, wow.
So already more important than us. He was also on Big Brother 13.
Oh. Tournament of Champions.
So what's funny is I went into this episode remembering, it's like, oh yes, this is when they info dump about Arium so they can kill her.
It was less info dump than I remember.
True.
It was like one little scene.
Yeah, I'm mistaken. I thought this episode was going to be yum yum.
Me too! I think I alluded to it last week, in fact, so I apologize. The worst line in Discovery history.
It's coming. You'll get to it.
Yeah, it's so bad.
I thought it was this week.
Yeah, I think we referenced it even. But, so I went and I was like, oh yeah, I'm ready to be not really impacted by it because I don't really know her. But I've got to say, like, the closing scene was done well enough that I still got a little sad.
Yeah, it's such a really well done scene.
Yeah.
Like, watching that scene, I was like, damn, this is so well acted between Sonequa Martin Green and... I'm going to say Hannah Cheeseman. I forget which of the Ariums this one is because you didn't even notice when they flipped off.
Cheeseman. I saw her name in this.
Cheeseman?
Like, such a great scene. And then by the end of it, I don't really feel like sad for the character. I feel angry that this is the way that they decided to like elevate this character at the last second.
Well, and it's also, it just feels like there's so much you could have done with her. Like, imagine having to decide once a week what memories to literally lose.
It's a super Black Mirror kind of thing right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, we all forget shit all the time. And again, like, with her, she's deleting, like, randomly walking down a hall and nothing happens. But, like, imagine, like, having to actually consciously do that. It's like, maybe there's going to be something about this hall that was important and I don't realize it right now. But, like, having to agonize over, what do I get rid of? What do I keep? You know, what's her life like? Like, clearly, big old chunk of her brain's probably cybernetic at this point.
Yeah, why not have that scene somewhere earlier, anywhere earlier, just to kind of see, like, this is her life, so that we can know one more new thing.
But also, why isn't she just uploading to the cloud?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Like, okay, so any video game, not any video game, but in many video games where you have an inventory capacity, they give you the option of having like a home base where you can like put your excess inventory. So you can only carry around many things, but
before you're over encumbered and moving at the speed of.
Yeah, but you can put your extra stuff in like a box in your house.
What if your home base gets ransacked?
Well, in video games it doesn't happen.
Well, not online ones anyway.
So
I thought people could steal your shit and stuff like Grand Theft Auto online though.
That's what I mean. In online
games you can, but
you're
playing Fallout or Witcher or something.
I see. I'm sorry. Go on.
So yeah, I don't know. It does seem kind of odd that they have to be just like straight up deleted and not like put onto a hard drive for like, there was a thing and I wanted to check out.
Is this the Johnny Mnemonic universe and she's got 256 megabytes of storage? Like,
I think so.
She has half a CD in her head. It's great.
You also, I think, like,
it's in sync.
If you'd done it well and gotten the right people in the room to either write or consult, like, done some really interesting stuff about living with disabilities and needing sort of external aids and such.
Yeah, she survived this terrible crash that took her husband from her, like the day or so after they eloped, which is
such a bummer.
So tragic, and we don't really get to appreciate that she's yet another character living with so much PTSD.
Yeah.
And like, there's no survivor guilt we really see with her, and possibly that's because she didn't save the survivor guilt part of the memory.
It's because she's half robot.
Like this,
she probably deleted the memory of the crash.
Or just literally it was already, because often like really traumatic events and there could have been damage to her brain that just like people often don't remember bad accidents. It just doesn't may not have been a question even. But yeah, and like, she mentioned she only just busted out the little bottle of sand recently because she's starting to deal. So there's some processing that's been happening.
Well, it's because she's got an Intel core processor.
She has become a very, very interesting character in 45 fucking minutes.
Let's kill her.
And it makes me feel like it's such a wasted opportunity that we didn't do any of this beforehand. And it makes me dislike this episode, which otherwise I find like such a well-acted and paced episode.
Yeah, especially after the past 2 weeks of kind of spinning wheels. Like, this one had some good momentum.
Yeah, it's because they only have half a season left and they dicked around the whole time
God,
just to find Spock. We're going to get on with it now.
Yeah, now we finally know what the point of the season is, too, beyond the Red Angel. It's all this control shit.
Robo-bitch.
And Section 31, and Michael's parents, and all this fucking shit.
Well, we also we have Nan. Mm-hmm. That's her name, right?
Delicious.
Delicious. Garlic naan. So we have Nan, who is reintroduced again in this episode.
Oh, you need that thing to breathe, don't you?
Yeah.
Creepy.
Yeah, good foreshadowing.
It would be a shame
if
something were to happen to your...
Too obvious.
Chekhov's breathing tubes.
Well, it's not even so much foreshadowing. It's like, I think they realized, like, casual fans won't know she needs that.
Oh, they won't know what a benzite is.
Yeah.
She's not a benzite.
Barzan.
Barzan.
Are benzites the blue ones?
Yes.
Yeah, benzites are the ones with the
vapes.
Yeah.
But because of they forgot to give a lady one, the vape once, they're like, only the men need them for reasons.
Really?
Yeah, legit. We see a female one at some point and she doesn't have it. So now it's just like, the women don't need it.
Was it the same series?
I think it was DS9.
Yeah.
Huh. Maybe by then they had. That's what I was gonna say. Like if any time at all had passed,
it had suppository form.
Oh no!
Oh right.
That was the thing that shocked me in this though.
Butt breathing.
Apparently you can.
Like Futurama. The pills so they could breathe underwater in the
Good
Atlanta episode. What I didn't realize, too, and I'd forgotten this despite having seen this episode before, I always kind of figured her little
mandibles
were like, just like, something you could kind of very easily take on and off, like a pair of glasses. No, them shits is hardwired.
I also thought when she got them torn off, like, is the air she's breathing in her EV suit with her helmet her own species' air?
No, that's a good...
Could she just have put her, like, the helmet's built into the suit. She could have just, it's a quirk of the neck or something that activates it. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
It also seems like if you die, if this thing breaks, that there should be like a backup option.
Something, yeah.
Like, I don't know. People that wear contact lenses still have pairs of glasses at home.
Yeah. But I mean,
taking your contacts out won't kill you, Jake.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying.
But falling downstairs that you can't see might.
I mean, when you get down to it, though, I mean, if you're someone that needs things like, let's say you're someone that needs an emergency inhaler. Like, you can only carry around so many. Like,
true. But you'd probably stash a couple...
you probably do.
In places you'd know where they are.
But it's not necessarily that unrealistic to think that, like, for some folks in the world, like, there could be a thing. It's like, my life is always a little on a razor's edge.
I would say people that have really severe food allergies.
Yeah.
Or there's people that have artificial hearts.
Yeah.
Really?
What if that goes out on you?
Because they have because they carry around like an external battery pack, and if your battery dies, it's like, oh.
Do they really?
Yeah.
You're not lying?
No, I'm not lying. It's crazy.
Jeez, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's horrifying.
And they have to swap out batteries pretty frequently.
Okay. Yeah. But anyway, you were making another point. I drove us off course. You brought up Nan for...
Oh, yeah. So we haven't seen Nan in a while.
She's been floating in the background.
Yeah, but she hasn't done much. And
this episode, she was floating in the background most of the time.
Well, that was what I was going to mention. Like, they show her being, like, very suspicious of
Detective Nan is on the case.
She's, like, hiding behind a pillar and kind of peeking out, like, what are you doing, Ariam?
But then they never do anything
with it. Why? And why was she suspicious in the first place?
Because we need to be reminded of who her character is so that when they get to the Section 31 base, we can remember who she is.
Yeah. That's probably exactly what it is, though,
Here's the thing. Like, it makes sense. She's the security chief. She's keeping an eye. She walks in on Ariam doing something shady at one point. Like, what are you doing here? She's like, things that aren't shady. And, again, I was really... Because I didn't remember the finer points. I mostly remembered this was the wee... Space Ariam episode. So it's like, oh, okay, there must be a thing where Nan, like, has a revelation, because they're clearly building up to the... no? Oh, okay.
No, Tilly's the one that figures it out.
Yeah, which, again, fine, but you made it look like it was going to be Nan the whole time.
Man,
right?
Imagine Tilly and Michael, the two most important people in the universe, sharing a room. What are the odds?
And then Nan gets bitched immediately.
She gets her semi-revenge.
She does. I also did think that the fight between Michael and Ariam was so stupid.
At one point, I goes, "What is that?" Because they do this like weird slow mo.
Yeah, the Matrix.
It's a Matrix.
See, I went sitting alone watching it to the air. My cats will say. I just went, "What's with this crouching tiger hidden bullshit?"
What did the cats think?
They were unimpressed.
Typical cats.
Well, they don't have the cultural context. I haven't actually shown them those movies yet.
They're like, we can make that jump.
Yeah,
True,
really.
True.
And we make it look way better. Oh, I want to see a cat matrix. Catrix.
I'm sure someone's done that.
Well, I'd like to see it.
That ending scene, though, did make me think of something. Because, like, Michael was kind of like, she just got her credits transferred, was put directly into Starfleet, she probably never did the Kobayashi Maru.
I don't know.
So, like, this was kind of her Kobayashi Maru moment.
I don't know
but
if
she
we know
failed
this.
because Nan was the one that opened the airlock.
That's what I mean. She couldn't pull it off. She couldn't face a no-win scenario.
You have 14 seconds. I just need one more minute. Well, you don't have it. You have 14 seconds, bitch.
Yeah, I don't think we know when the Kobayashi Maru was instated.
Yeah, but I mean...
I'm going to guess after.
Either way, like, I'm sure they had some equivalent, kind of.
Oh, that's true. Kirk did it.
So it must be around by now, because we... we never see Kirk in this show.
Man.
We don't.
Yeah, but we know that he's an officer at this time.
Yeah. So, I mean...
We don't? I thought he... Oh, is he Strange New Worlds he shows up? Oh,
So, yeah, it exists, so... But she presumably never did it.
It doesn't sound like she went to the academy. So.
That's what, they transferred her just straight over.
And the Vulcan Kobayashi Maru is just kill them. Just kill Vulcan, hello.
Don't even bother.
That very much tracked for TOS Spock, too, when Spock was like, Michael, just do it. No choice.
Good of the many.
Because, goddamn, early day Spock was all about murder.
That's true. He really
murder
was.
Murder was always the most logical response.
Oh, well. When you're right, you're right.
So the to extend the cartooniness of the Section 31 villainy.
Oh my god.
We have our evil base.
Our Star Trek 6 moment.
Surrounded on all sides by a sea of sharks with freaking lasers on their heads.
And when they bark, they shoot bees at you.
Yes.
It occurred to me, and I didn't think of this when it came up in Deep Space Nine, but it occurred to me this time, being, against mines in the real world makes sense, because the whole thing is they're, buried underground, it can be forgotten, and years after the conflict has ended, people can get caught up in them. A big old space minefield is, you can't hide it? So, I'm not saying you can't be anti-mine, but I feel like the ethical quandary is different. And I feel like they just automatically transferred over an Earth thing without actually thinking of, would people actually still think they're unethical? Because, again, the issue with mines here is we forget about them. You can't forget about this, cloaked mines could be an issue. But
they were.
But just, a field of very visible, fuck off my patch. It's meant to be a
deterrent.
But also, what is visible, though, in space?
Well, they see the field pretty easily with their sensors when they get close. But that's what, I was thinking, I was like, wait a minute, would they actually care about mines in the future that aren't buried?
But also,
or cloaked?
And yeah, I agree with that. I mostly am complaining about the fact that they were freaking buzzsaw mines.
Oh, yes. I know you're complaining. That was something I thought of.
Yeah.
So what are these things made of that they could go through the whole, cheese or whatever the fuck they said?
Cheese.
Delicious.
Well,
high quality carbon steel saw table blades.
It's it's just made of
can use those things to cut through tin cans.
Well, the thing is, when they're getting buzzsawed, I'm like, holy shit, that's gonna tear the fuck out of Discovery. It didn't damage it at all. It was fine.
It did a token slash.
Nobody got hurt as far as we know.
Yeah, no. I think
there were those blades probably would have cut through several decks at a time.
Yeah.
And they were going in with shields down because the mines are attracted to shields.
That makes sense. If you could make a mine that could get drawn towards a shield, that'll fuck up the shields faster. But it didn't. Yeah.
It's like the old finger trap.
It kind of is.
The more you put up your shields, the more we mine you.
Yeah.
And then there were other mines that weren't buzzsaws that were just
Yeah, the initial ones I think were just splody mines, classic mines. But as they got closer, there were the Beyblades. Yeah, let's be honest, there were spinny boy Beyblade mines just so it would look neat.
Yeah, that's the thing that this show does an awful lot. This is another Jonathan Frakes episode.
Yeah, and he did the weird overhead tilt again.
So many fucking camera tricks that is too much, Johnny. Too much.
They gave Frakes access to fancy gimbals, and he just went nuts.
Too much. Scale it back.
Well, you can't really blame him. He probably hasn't directed a whole ton.
He has.
Oh, has he?
A ton of shit.
Oh, but you should know better then.
The thing is, though, I was going
to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Most of his directing on Star Trek back in the day was lower budget, no fancy gimbals. Now it's hey, John, the wheels are off. And he's like, really?
Yeah, and all the directors did get, the assignment of make it look as much like a movie as possible. And I guess his idea of make it look like a movie. Camera trickery!
That's the thing. Most of his directing is television.
Got any lens flare?
Is television, so... I mean, he's done a few movies, but the bulk of his directing is television, so I think, they told him movie, and he was like, so crazy?
Yeah, we also have a new floaty tech thing that I thought was overdone, which was the kind of, lie detector orbs.
That actually that honestly just feels like it's the
polygraph.
Put your hand on the orb from old TOS from the Finitube episode. They had a thing they put their hand on while they were testifying.
I remember there was one in Wolf in the Fold.
That too.
That was fucking unhelpful at all.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It's never worked, but it does have precedent.
But Cornwell trusts this thing empirically.
Yeah, she is
implicit.
Well, she also trusted Lorca.
What is
empirically means empirical evidence.
Implicitly just means
sure.
Or she trusts it entirely.
She entrusted too much.
Yeah.
But then again, I think they also tried to claim in Wolf in the Fold, too, that the machine was never wrong. So people just trust these lie detectors for some reason.
Well, it's like maybe they were trying to make a parallel of like her with Admiral Pitar putting too much faith in
tech, yeah.
Though in her case, her tech was right.
Yeah, it just makes me wonder some more, and we'll get to this when we talk about more mind melds later. Strap in. Is why not just always have a Vulcan with you who can read their mind?
No, people can train
or a
themselves.
Saru that can see their heat signatures.
Or a Deanna Troi that can tell when they're lying.
Except for when the
for
plot
Angie.
demands when she can't.
Or an Amanda Seyfried who can tell you while standing in the rain that there's a 70% chance that it's raining right now. It's a Mean Girls reference.
I got that one.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's one of those ones that's enough in the zeitgeist that I'm aware of it.
Happy to help.
Anyway, I thought the orbs were stupid looking.
Yeah, they're stupid.
They didn't need to be orbs. It could have just been a hand.
Floating fucking orbs.
It had just been a hand on a thing, like in TOS. It would have been better.
Well, they didn't have floaty things.
The Bible.
in TOS.
Should have just been the Bible.
That'll you can never lie.
The
on
Vulcan
Bible.
Bibble.
That's right.
Oh, that was your point too.
The Bibble. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I loved that scene because I thought, she's asking him all these questions to see whether, you're going to answer me truthfully. And instead of saying, or he says, yes, instead of saying, Vulcans never lie, because we know that's a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So far, nobody is impressed by this. I thought it was funny.
And he knows that she knows, because she's got the device.
Speaking of our boy Spock, though, again, tortured chest metaphor aside, I did love the build-up in the scene with Michael. Like, he starts off with, like, that sort of just under the surface kind of, like, Vulcan anger and tension. It builds and builds and builds until he explodes. And...
Yeah, he moves very smoothly from sassy Vulcan to just cruel. Like, oofda. Like, several times in that scene, I was like, ouch! That's a deep burn.
You're not wrong, but fuck.
But why are you bringing this up? It's two siblings having a very serious fight.
Someone get this boy a Colinar because he is too emotional right now.
Yeah, it's a few decades down the line.
Yeah, and then he does the same thing to Stamets when Stamets is... when Stamets is in the room and is like, oh, I like talking to myself, but could someone else talk to themselves so I don't feel out of place? And then they're actually doing work. He says, no talking in here! And I wanted to slap fucking
No,
Stamets
I said talk to yourself, not to each other, for fuck's sake.
The problem is he's gotten to the point where he can only deal with Tilly talking at him.
How? She's insufferable.
Because they jive.
God.
I would like to... I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ames.
No, when Tilly first enters the scene, Tilly's on the scene, when Cornwell beams on, and she just starts blathering at Cornwell.
Oh, she does, yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry, I never committed mutiny before, and I tried not to. And I'm like, oh my god, shut the fuck up.
Shut up.
Get this bitch off the bridge.
Poor Tilly.
I couldn't with her.
I really hope they, scale her back again next season. Because, again, we've said it multiple times this season. They really have just... regressed her this season. It's frustrating.
Yeah, it's like she has one character... Oh, she's got two character traits, because she's very bright.
Yes.
But she's also just utterly obnoxious. And I think the writers think that that's a character trait. And it's like, I hate this. I hate all of this. But I was going to do the Stamets Spock debate, which is another Spock just throwing in Stamets' face. Like, I did some arguing earlier, and I'm still in argue mode. Hey, Stamets, I think your husband is just having a problem that's himself, not you. Well, take that.
The difference here, I think, is I feel like with that scene, it's less take that and more he maybe means well, but is bad at...
But they weren't talking about it. He brought it up out of fucking nowhere.
True, that part
and that feels
Well, but do you think it was because, doesn't Stamets start it by being like... So, did Michael and you have a good conversation? Why did Stamets even know about that? I found that to be funny.
Because she said they were going to go do stuff in earshot of him.
Oh. Wow.
When he kicked them out of engineering.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, either way, I found that weird and out of character. I don't think Stamets gives a half of a fucking rat's shit what Spock's going through with Michael.
You know what I did like,
What?
actually, though, related to Stamets and Spock, is that Spock's just some guy to Stamets. Yeah, you're my coworker's brother. The show had the good sense to at least, have another person in world be like, okay. They could have easily fucked up and had him be enamored with Spock. Like, you're Spock.
Oh, God.
But right now,
Thank God
Spock's
they didn't.
nobody to anyone else.
He's,
You know, like,
in fact, a fugitive from the law.
yeah, like, Pike cares about him because they're crewmates. For Stamets, he's just some guy. And I appreciate that he was written to treat him that way, and Stamets' actor played
Rapp.
it that way.
Mark
Rapp.
Anthony.
Yeah.
Oh, Mark Anthony. Anthony Rapp.
Yeah, Anthony Rapp, like, played it that way. Like, he just treats him like he treats everybody else. There's no sense of, like, subtle awe or anything. Like, I appreciate that they got the
Treats
message.
him like a little bitch, because
That's what he has to everybody.
everyone like
Yeah.
a little bitch.
Like, he's not sitting there in awe of this figure because he's not this figure yet in Starfleet.
I also think Stamets has a bit of, like, jealousy of Spock, because, you know, up till this point, Stamets is used to be the one where, you know, everything in the universe depends on him.
He's the big brain boy.
And he breaks something stupidly in engineering, and Spock's like, I'm sorry, but this is the fate of the universe here that you just knocked out. And Stamets is like, pout!
Well,
Usually
also
that's my
Stamets is,
job.
like, has yet to figure out why his toy is broken.
Yeah.
And it's because of sabotage.
Spock, though, is very much the, like, he is so upset to be the chosen one. You know, he's like, they talk about in the, what is it, the Campbell's version of the myth, the, like, hero rejecting the call. And it's like, this is a very extreme version of that.
Campbell, what?
Joseph Campbell.
Yeah, the hero's journey thing.
Yeah, part of the journey is rejecting the call.
Oh, okay.
And Spock is doing that very hardcore. It's like, don't worry, Spock. It's gonna get transferred to your sister.
You won't be the one.
You're
not the hero, Spock.
It literally is all about her. Arium said so
says
before she got
so.
spaced.
Oh, so on the nose. Too on the nose.
And I love that Spock, too, is like, you think you just need to fix everything by yourself. It's like...
Which she does. That is her problem. She thinks she has to, and that's what led her into all the trouble in season 1.
Yep.
So he's not wrong.
No, he's totally right.
So I had a very unimportant question that we don't have to linger on, but this somehow never occurred to me before rewatching this episode. Who the fuck invented 3D chess? Because chess is an Earth game, but we associate it so strongly with Spock, because he's the one who's shown playing it the most throughout Star Trek. It's like, so did an Earthman invent 3D chess, or did the Vulcans get their hand on chess,
Normal chess, and Vulcanize it.
Yeah, and be like, this could be better. And I don't know, I shouldn't have said this, because now the universe will hear me. This is the one thing the universe will hear us say. And now, in some...
Establish it in Strange New Worlds.
Yeah, or something. They're going to go through, and we're going to answer, we find out the history of 3D chess.
I mean, we have 3D chess here. Like, you can
No,
buy it.
it's not this version, because, like, the tri-dimensional chess that they use in Star Trek, it has a different 3D chess configuration than historical 3D chess. I wrote about this for one of our very, very, very first blog activities, or blog posts.
See, that was a while ago, so I forgot that there already was an actual Earth 3D chess. You can get Star Trek style ones, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
With, like, their rule set and everything?
Yeah, with the little attack boards.
They're happy to sell you a glass one for,
way too
$500
much
or
money,
something.
yeah.
So much money.
But this one wasn't even glass, it was plastic. It was very cheap.
And also that I didn't love the pieces, because, like...
You couldn't tell what they were.
No, I was going to say, like, speaking as a very casual, like, a person who has played chess in very casual ways, it's like, all right, that one is either the king or the queen because it's got a big ring, but everything else, I cannot tell what anything is.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting, right? So, oftentimes you'll see people complain when they see chess being played in TV and movies. It's like, oh, well, that was they're making it like these characters are very good at chess, but that was like a obviously bad
bullshit
move.
Nonsense moves.
But this one, because A, you can't tell what the pieces are, and you can't tell the rules of the game, it doesn't matter what they do. No one's going to call them out on it.
Spock does say which one is his rook and that he doesn't like it.
Yeah,
the
and
rook is the castle.
I also wouldn't be surprised. Those are probably real pieces. You can find some really, sometimes very good, unique sets online.
But it's always clear which piece is which.
Yeah, this one is badly designed if it was one they bought somewhere. If it's one they made themselves, then they fucked up.
Bishop.
Bishop beats paper.
Bishop beats Ripley.
Rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock.
But yeah, again, so, overall, I enjoyed this episode more than the last two.
I enjoyed it more than on my original watch, and I think it's because I knew what the ending was going to be, so I was kind of braced for feeling underwhelmed, feeling the wrong emotion that they want me to feel.
Yeah, and again, I to their credit, they did that last scene well enough that even though she's a character that had no background before, I still felt sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was.
I just wish that they'd establish it more.
Yeah, again, you really end up like, wow, in a way, I kind of wish you'd established all this, then done the miraculous save, and then did things with her. Since you didn't do anything with her up to this point.
She's already survived a fucking terrible helicopter crash.
Seriously.
Apparently. And, like, they rebuilt her. Better, stronger, less memory. Well, they could probably fix her again, right? Just tracked her into the old shuttle bay.
Yeah, but she's full of control.
Yeah, well, you know.
I don't know. I think there isn't a way to keep
they
control
can't load
from getting out.
They can't load Norton antivirus on there.
They get your Bob from Reboot running around inside her head.
Oh, pivoting quickly.
Sure.
Michael makes a point sometime early-ish, because it's early in my notes, that she's going to prove Tyler is innocent.
Oh yeah, that never comes up.
She's gonna prove
why?
Tyler is innocent?
Innocent of what?
Of what? That's what I was just thinking.
Right now, everyone suspects that Tyler is the saboteur.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And he's locked in his quarters, which is why we don't see him at all this episode. And she just states, you know, I'm going to help do the thing. I'm going to talk to Spock, and at some point later on, I'm going to prove Tyler innocent. And I'm like, why?
Why would you assume he's innocent to begin with?
Yeah, like
he's a scumbag.
You should prove what is actually happening, which could still include the potential that Tyler is not innocent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you can't go in having already decided that he's innocent, Michael.
And again, also, like, the whole Nan thing, there's no payoff this episode to that.
Right.
We like you said, we don't see him at all.
Yeah, but now everyone knows who the actual saboteur was.
It's been done for her.
Right.
Oh, no!
So there goes
Nan did it.
thread we didn't have to discuss at all. I mean, in the show, not here, obviously. We're talking about it because the show kind of biffed it.
I love the idiom that Spock used at one point, and he says it in Vulcan, and then Michael's like, you are tending a plant that is dead. And I'm like, ooh, that's a good idiom. I like that one.
That is. Oh, God, I loved during the argument with Michael, the whole, like, I forget exactly how he phrased it, but it's like, yes, he disappoints me, I disappoint him, the sun rises on another day. It's like, oh, that is probably, like, very, for anyone that's had that sort of experience with a parent, that probably is very, like, oh, too real.
Yeah, Michael says, this isn't how Sarek plays chess, and Spock's like, well, Sarek is bad as a lot of things, Michael.
And also, how would you know what Sarek thinks, you fucking human douchebag?
Well, not just that, but also, like, that's your tactic? Bring up what his father, who he hates, would have done?
Was she just poking the bear?
Yeah, like, you and Sarek...
He's more of a twink, don't you think?
He's an otter because he's hairy.
Poking the twink. Oh, poking the otter.
I don't mind poking that otter.
Also, like, Michael... not just, like, in terms of relationship-wise, but in terms of, like, mental connection... Michael's way closer to Sarek than Spock
That's
is.
the thing. Their relationship is weird, but clearly healthier somehow.
Well,
than
and also
Spock
like,
and Sarek.
and plus, like she has space radio with
Yes.
Sarek, which
Yeah.
Spock doesn't have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's an interesting thing that I don't think they're ever going to build. Maybe it's in novels. Who the fuck knows? That, you know, when she tried to run away because she blamed herself for the logic extremists bombing the school or whatever it is they did.
Yeah.
And she tries to run away, but she comes back. And there's no, like, I don't know what their life is like.
Awkward.
Now that she has come back after trying to run away. Spock and her are now enemies.
Yep.
Because of this, even though he did save her, which was nice of him.
Mm-hmm.
And they probably lived like this for years.
I mean, I imagine that probably happens. I mean, I always got on with my sibling, but you do hear stories of siblings that just despise one another growing up, and they just live together, eventually separate once they become adults, and never...
You'd think Michael would ask, like, oh, can I move in with someone else? Can I go anywhere but here now? Because it's a hostile home now.
Or that she would have cleared it up with him at some point before now.
That would be in her character, which is surprising that it never happened. Because she isn't.
Or maybe they were fine and like Spock just let this fucking resentment grow in him for 30 years before letting it out.
But he's so logical. When did his logic kick in? Right after this, we know, actually. Which means he should have figured out, oh, this was just a thing that she thought was her fault.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like he probably withdrew a bit. Sarek was thrilled. He's like, my boy's being more Vulcan.
Hooray!
So he didn't think there was a problem.
Even though I brought this human into the house to make him more human. Sarek, you suck.
Yeah, he keeps changing his mind on what his plan is. He's such a bad father.
Giving him a human as a pet didn't work. Let's try the Sailot.
Aww.
Oh, God.
Anyone have anything else, or shall we talk about other Vulcan things?
Vulcan it up.
Yeah, let's do that.
I think we can all agree that Spock is out of his Vulcan mind.
So let's get a Vulcan move on here.
Yeah, so speaking of Sarek, we're going to move on from our blog activity last week when we talked about so many Spock mind melds.
Oh, my God.
I didn't realize there were that many when we made the
slut.
list. It was a little too much.
Is this the rest?
We're going to do through
the
Voyager,
rest.
I think, today. So TNG through Voyager, there are way fewer mind melds than last week, so if you were exhausted by last week, this will be a little easier.
I imagine the bulk are in Voyager.
Yep, the bulk are in Voyager, but still, if we thought Tuvok was a bit of a meld slut, then, Spock's got him beat.
Oh, yeah, Jesus.
But let's start in TNG, and let's talk more Sarek, because Sarek is here in the episode. Sarek.
He melds with the old Picardo.
Yeah.
And Picard goes kind of kooky for a night.
Yeah,
Well,
which is such a
doesn't
good
he
scene.
sort of meld with Cass too?
What?
That's Voyager, we're in TNG.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were talking.
They're talking about Sarek in TNG.
I'm sorry.
Sarek, not Tuvok.
In the episode Sarek.
I'm
Yes.
sorry. I apologize.
Yes, he
I
melds
was
with
lost.
Picard, who now knows...
Sorry, I thought you were
about-
saying Picardo. That's why
Ah.
I was like,
He melds with Picard, who now knows about the Discovery and Michael.
And he
Oh,
knows about
God.
Kung Fu. Because
Yes.
he uses a Vulcan neck pinch on Tuvok, interestingly enough.
That's right, he does.
Yeah, you
I
just
forgot
absorbed
about
that
that.
from Sarek.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do love that scene in Sarek, though.
Mhm.
It's so well done, and it's so, it helps to ground the Sarek character as someone who is going through this mental collapse thing, which is really fun. Not fun, interesting.
Yes.
Important. And they did a great job with it.
Mhm.
We have more Spock, though.
Yes,
because
Right. Picard also melds with Spock.
that mind meld slut Spock is back to do more mind melds in Unification Part 2.
But he only does it as like a proxy meld with Sarek.
Yeah, tell us about it, Jake.
Because Spock, when Picard tells Spock that Sarek's dead, Spock's like, "Oh, I never melded with him," and Picard's like, "Well, you want a little piece of him?"
I did. I knew him for like 10 minutes.
Your dad liked everyone more than you.
You want a little Frenchman in you?
Oh, no.
Oh my!
How little?
Yeah, so that happens.
Yeah, and it's nice because I think at the time you also think like, oh, we get to see that Sarek actually did care for Spock, and now Spock gets to know about it. But now with all the stuff that we've learned in Discovery, you're like, oh, he's also learned all this other baggage that he's been carrying this whole fucking time.
I'm sorry, he wanted to turn me over to Section 31?
He sent me to the he wanted to send me to the Vulcan Academy instead of Michael and ruined Michael's life.
I imagine the reason why Spock and Sarek never melded was because Sarek is like, holy shit, he can never get in here because he will find out some shit.
He's got so many other half-brothers.
Oh, no.
There's ones we don't even know about yet.
Yeah, they'll come up later, I am certain.
There's gonna be a season of Strange New Worlds where every episode introduces a new half-sibling for
Strange
Spock.
new Spocks. Wait, why? Was Sarek really fucking that much?
Oh, I mean, probably not, but it's
alright.
a funny idea.
God,
He's lived a very, very long time,
True.
so you have to assume.
Well, yeah, but he's been
come up
like
a couple of
married
times.
every time we see him.
Yeah, he's been through a bunch of wives.
He's been through at least 3.
Always human.
No, the
No.
first one was
Would have
Vulcan.
been a Vulcan.
'Cause
Cybox mom is
Cybox
Vulcan.
full Vulcan.
Oh, I always do.
And we also, there could be somebody in between Amanda and Perrin too, right? Because human women don't last that long.
He went through a hoe phase, probably.
And we don't know how many, people there may have been between unnamed Vulcan wife and Amanda.
We never know the Vulcan wife's name. Huh. I mean, who really cares? Cybox mom, I mean. Yeah.
He just
Cybox
had a mom.
Yeah.
We have one mind meld represented in Deep Space Nine, and it's one of my favorites. It's so fun.
I mean, attempted mind meld.
Yes. So this is in the Maquis Part 2, when that Maquis bitch Sakona tries to forcibly mind meld Dukat, because, as we've established in the Undiscovered Country, the mind meld can be a weapon.
Yeah.
And it is fucking horrifying.
It is.
Because it's so goddamn overpowered, this trait.
Mm-hmm.
But Dukat has the mental discipline and sass to fight her off. My boy.
It's that old Family Guy joke. Oh, could you tell the dungeon master his grandmother was trying to work me over?
Is that Family Guy or oh
Family
no?
Guy, yeah.
I was gonna say, isn't there similarly? Doesn't Pam Poovey have some like?
Oh yes. When they're she's been captured by the people that think she's Cheryl.
You're just gonna have to kill me.
that American Dad? What is that?
No, that's Archer.
Archer.
Oh,
Sorry.
I believe you.
Yeah, no, that's a great scene, though, because he's just like, nice try.
Yeah, he's throwing in her face like, oh, did you try real hard and fail?
Can you imagine how insufferable Garrick
Oh
would
my
be if they tried to
God.
mind meld him?
They would have just killed him.
He's
Fuck this guy.
See, I think he'd let them, but then, like, steer them into shit that was pointless.
All I did was show them my new designs for the upcoming season.
Aw, I love that.
And a bunch of stock footage that they didn't use from,
Event Horizon?
Yes, thank you.
And
Jesus.
all of my fan fiction that I've written about Julian Bashir.
But that's when we get to Voyager. Let's get to Voyager, because this is the Tuvok's time to shine. We've got a lot of Tuvoks.
So much.
The first that we're going to see Tuvok do a mind meld is in ex post facto.
That's the Tom one, right?
Yeah, that's the Tom Paris, having to relive how he killed a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And Tuvok is playing detective, which is so cute for him.
Does he realize the height is off, or is it somebody else?
Tuvok realizes the height is off because when he goes into Paris's brain to see, okay, what is this thing that you're seeing when they replay the death back to you? He mind melds with Paris. He sees the death. He's like, why is there typeface on it? That's not normal.
Yeah.
Is that what they were supposed to be showing you? And also the height is off.
Why did it say MS-13?
Thinking that, Terry, it said MS-13.
So fucking pathetic.
I loved it.
Dumbest timeline.
Seriously, thank you, because I was right there and I was like, how can I even? Everything is computer.
So much. Control got to him. Oh. But good on Tuvok because he solves the case.
Yes.
Which is a good use of a mind meld. It's, if you're going to determine if someone is lying or not, and you got a Vulcan, ask him to help you.
Isn't that the one that's solved by both Tuvok and a dog?
Yeah.
Yeah, the dog helps.
Which is dumb.
Yes, it is.
I don't remember this.
I just remember we thought it was stupid. I don't remember the details.
Tuvok was great. The dog was silly.
Yeah, the dog was
a very
dumb.
silly murder thing. One of these days, I think we should compare all, mystery episodes
that could be
Trek,
fun.
because some of them are just innocuous. What isn't innocuous is one of my favorite mind melds in the episode Meld, which is Tuvok and my boy Lon Suter.
Yeah,
Which, again, definitely, I think, we talked about the issue that even with TOS and TOS stuff, they would sometimes kind of forget that it's not just mind reading. This definitely remembers, no,
it's
the
a meld.
brains
that's the
mix,
it
and they're...
picks up some space crazies.
Yeah, there's risk involved, and this actually remembered that and ran with it for the plot.
Tuvok becomes obsessed, and it's such a well-acted episode. I don't think it gets nearly the credit it deserves, because it is so interesting for him. Yeah, and then you just have to have Brad Dourif going fucking crazy the whole episode long, which is fantastic.
He actually recently announced that he has retired from acting, sadly.
Brad Dourif, no!
Yeah.
Can we get him on a cameo? He can at least deliver a line.
He's way older than I realized, which I guess makes sense. He was already middle-aged in the
stuff
80s.
forever.
He's been doing stuff since One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
True, and that's old as fuck. So... But yeah, for some reason, I just always, despite knowing who he's a contemporary with, I always imagined him younger. Don't know why.
Also, a lot of time has passed since things...
True.
That I don't think we keep remembering.
The episode of Voyager that he was in was 30 years ago.
Well, even fucking Lord of the Rings now is 25 years ago, for Christ's sake.
Jake just mentioned the other day, the first Harry Potter was 2001.
Yep.
And you're like, holy shit, Daniel Radcliffe's been doing this stuff this long?
Yep.
Good on him. And good on
Caitlin's face.
Oh no, Caitlin, time. The inevitable march of time.
I mean, I was listening to a podcast and they're like, all right, so this story begins in the year 2000. I'm like, oh, that's not that long ago. 25 years ago? I guess it was.
Yeah, it is. I still think of the 90s as being 10 years ago. I'm so wrong.
Yeah, and the 80s is 20.
I've moved on from that, but I am definitely still in the 2010s was 10 years ago, not 15.
Hey, you know when time is nearer by than you think it is in the episode Flashback. Which is Tuvok reliving that memory from Sulu times. And Janeway comes in to help, and Tuvok and Janeway do a meld so that Janeway can see his memory from Sulu times and help him through what turns out to be a brain disease.
Yay.
Well, it's like a parasite.
Yeah, a brain parasite.
Which they may very well have killed the last member of its species for all we know.
They genocided a brain parasite.
Poor parasite.
That's okay. It was driving Tuvok crazy.
True. Just even if they could put it in a jar or something in a tiny uniform.
Pretzels are making me thirsty.
These pretzels are making me thirsty. Seinfeld, I believe.
Oh, okay.
These brain, these I don't know.
Brain parasites.
Brain parasites are making me crazy.
I'm sorry, it's all merged into my head. I'm picturing this little kind of like wee amoeba in a jar in a tiny uniform holding a pretzel that's bigger than it is.
Oh my fuck.
Nice.
Weird. Anyway, I like flashback. I think the use of the mind meld there is kind of interesting. I'm not certain it needed to be Janeway because that puts the captain in danger quite a lot.
Wank episode.
I mean,
only do so much.
Putting the captain in danger is like,
Yeah, that's
Rule 1 of Star Trek. Like, the only Star Trek that occasionally tried to remember maybe we shouldn't constantly put the captain in danger was TNG.
Yeah, because they had Will Riker.
Yeah, and that was the idea. It's like, Will be like, no, Captain, you can't hurt yourself. Right. And even TNG occasionally like, fuck it, just send Picard.
And, like, in terms of, like, Janeway and being in danger, it takes every ounce of Chakotay's energy to keep her from self-destructing the ship every day. So
that's why she's the best. She is just.
And we know that
do not fuck with her.
We also know that she and Tuvok have kind of a friendship that goes back for a very long time. You know who else has a friendship with Tuvok that he gets to mind meld with is Kes.
Yeah.
We see a couple different Kes mind melds in
Voyager,
thank you. The first one being Warlord when she's possessed by that Dick Tyrion.
What a bitch.
Again, like we said when they would let, like, Marina Sirtis do stuff outside of her usual character. It's like, wow, you should have really let Jennifer Lean do more.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah, she did all right in that episode.
Yeah, she's good. Tuvok's good when he, reaches through to her and when he's like, okay, she's still in there. She's trying real hard. Mm-hmm. But Tyrion's a prick.
He is.
It's a good episode.
Yeah, it's a good mind meld because, I feel like so many times the mind meld is kind of your get out of jail free card of we need to progress the plot. Mind meld them.
Mind meld ex machina.
But so far, I think all the Tuvok ones are used kind of methodically.
Yeah. I think it's like that was kind of maybe the nice thing about not having a regular Vulcan on TNG or DS9 was like they couldn't just fall back on that. And
and they maybe could have fallen back on, having a Betazoid on TNG, but that bitch couldn't sense shit.
Yeah, well,
Data saved the day most of the time.
They kept kneecapping her because they realized they made a character that was too powerful.
Whoopsie.
But and then with Enterprise, they then had, like, I know we're getting to them next week, right?
Next week we'll do Enterprise.
But then they, like, were like, all right, she's there, but we'll come up with reasons it can't happen as much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We have one more Kes mind meld before she goes away. In the episode in which she goes away, and that's in The Gift. And that's when she is, like, her powers are driving her nuts.
He uses it to, like, stabilize her, right?
Yeah, and he stabilizes her just enough to get to the end of the episode.
He's like, this is pawned far enough.
Yeah, which is nice for him. Because, you could see, like, he really cares for Kes.
Yeah.
And she's going through a bad time. I think that's all I really have to say on The Gift. But it is there, and you'll see it on the Tumblr.
Yay.
Hooray.
And then we never saw Kes again, but it was a fine send-off that isn't ruined by anything.
Exactly.
Yep, that's the last we ever see of her. We're going to move on to the next Voyager episode, which is Random Thoughts, and this one's got all kinds of mind melds.
That one's got fucking decaying Fox mind meld.
Oh my god. This is the Event Horizon mind meld.
I was going to say, with B'Elanna and the, like, emotion black market.
Yeah, that thing. That episode's so nuts. And Tuvok is really fun in it because he's in detective mode. Yep. My favorite Tuvok is Detective Tuvok. And he first I forget the order, but he mind melds Torres at some point to figure out what exactly happened. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, you called him a name and we're a little angry.
I think that must be the first one.
That might be the first one. And then when he, like, infiltrates the underground black market thing, he mind melds the shit out of Gwail.
Yeah.
And you're like, yes, Tuvok, get him! Show him that Event Horizon footage.
Yeah.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
And I feel like he gets a little, isn't he like, fine, you want emotions? Here. Or something. He, like, really, like, makes it kind of scary. Or as scary as a Vulcan can.
Yeah, you're like, Tuvok, why do you know all these things? Holy shit.
He also wanted to bang that cop until...
Oh, that's right.
He did.
He realized she was too fash even for a Vulcan.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty fash.
Mm-hmm. Not just a Vulcan, but a Vulcan who is, the security chief / tactical officer, which is usually the most fash person on any Starfleet vessel.
Mm-hmm.
Still doesn't make sense that they're the same person.
Unless Avery Brooks is on the... Or Odo, for that matter. Well, I guess he's the
He's
security
the security chief.
Yeah, Odo is...
He just is a fascist.
Yeah.
Like,
King Fash.
let's be real.
All constables are bastards.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, we have a couple left. We're going to talk about infinite regress when Tuvok mind melds 7, when all the personalities of people that the Borg have assimilated are running amok in her head.
That poor bitch. 7 really gets put through the ringer, man.
Yeah, and this way Tuvok also gets put through the ringer because he has to experience all that shit too in a really weird fucking scene.
Yeah, I vaguely recall, like, he's, like, kind of forced his way through a crowd, and it was kind of goofy.
Yeah, it's like Tuvok walking through the personality rave.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I was just thinking, like, when you said it, I was like, is that the one where he's, like, going through a party full of people?
It's like,
that's wild.
Hallways packed full of all the personalities.
Alright, but real talk, why the fuck do I remember that and not who Tony Todd is? Why
very
does my
weird.
brain choose to hold on to that, of all
please.
things?
If I, like, for all it would be a dystopian nightmare, if I could maybe actually sort through and ditch some useless bullshit and get back some stuff I'd like to have, that might be nice.
No, keep all the Star Trek trivia, though, for whenever we get to our Star Trek trivia game.
I'm keeping that. No, when I say
Oh my God,
useless
is that-
stuff, I meant, like, old birthdays.
This is the game.
Yeah, Jake has pulled out the trivia game we'll be playing whenever we get to our 400th anniversary.
Anniversary! Our 400th anniversary!
Despicable.
I just rewatched the episode of Deep Space Nine when Jack and the Whack Pack
God,
come
those
back.
jerks.
When he's
Jack
like,
and the Whack Pack come back.
that's what I said.
I wish you'd said that years ago. That would have been the episode title.
Damn it! Go back and fix it.
Fine, I'm calling this episode that.
All right,
No,
great. But when Serena starts to talk and he's like making fun of her, I was like, "Wow, Jack,
Fucking
you of
Jack.
all people
Jack's
should
the worst.
probably go fuck yourself."
But we all
actually.
know that he's the worst. So what else for Mind Melds, though? Because we're not done.
Moving on, this is a cute one. In Gravity, when Tuvok mind melds Nos so that she can know what he feels about her.
Why don't I remember this one?
It's a cute one. It's the one where they're where he and Paris are stuck on a planet where they're experiencing time.
Yes.
And they find Nos in the desert and they eat spider crab things together.
Tank Girl.
Yeah, I remember the episode. I just didn't remember that was the title.
Yeah, and she falls in love with him and she learns English in like a day. And she's trying to tell him that she has feelings for him. And he's like, I got a wife at home and this is weird and no thank you. And later on he tells her, but this is how I really feel. I feel as much love. I feel as much love for you as is possible in my circumstance. And she's like, that's okay.
Fun
Is that
in
it?
the sun.
That's it from Gravity. Did you guys have anything else to say about
Oh,
Gravity?
I don't
No.
remember this episode, so I've got nothing.
Yeah, no, I kind
Sorry.
of forgot there was a meld, but no, I think you've.
Yeah, it's weirdly sweet, even though you can think for a hot second, like, did she consent to learning this? Like, but also, she just puts her mouth on his mouth at some point. But what are you gonna do? But I like them together. They were very sweet.
Yeah.
A couple more. We have Unimatrix 0, where we get our rare conference call mind meld. When Tuvok melds 7 and Janeway together so that Janeway can enter Unimatrix 0 and figure out what's going on. That one's really, like, superpower.
I was gonna say, does that count as like a new Vulcan superpower? Because that doesn't seem right.
It seems like one of those.
Well, what it is it's because what you've done is you've taken the mind meld, which is already pretty powerful, but then linked it up to like Borg stuff, so it's getting a boost it wouldn't normally have.
That's true. If the mind meld doesn't solve everything, Borg shit definitely solves everything.
I remember in like the 90s, early 2000s, always doing three-way calls with people. Did you do that when you were a kid?
No,
Yeah, I did
but I
a bunch,
remember it was a thing and
was.
people were pretty excited about it.
It was pretty cool. Like if you're on a phone with a friend, you're like, oh, let's call our other friend and get them in this, and then we'll have a three-way conversation.
Yeah, mostly this happened before you had a car, probably.
Oh yeah, totally. It was. I mean, it's how we decided we were going to meet.
Yeah.
So it was very timely, I would say.
Yeah, it was a
three-way call.
Yeah. But yeah, you've taken the 2 get out of jail free cards and put them together into a fuck it, no one has to play Monopoly card, which is the best card.
No one should play Monopoly.
Terrible game.
I have 2 more for you guys. We have Repression, which is full of mind melds, because Tuvok, turns out, has been mind melding bitches all over the place because he's been mind controlled.
Right, that's
different
the like
hoes and different area codes.
that's the like Manchurian Candidate episode, basically.
Yeah, where that kind of Maquis
Reactivates him,
the
'cause-
Bajoran Maquis person, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, activates Tuvok, either on purpose, accidentally, unclear.
I don't quite remember, to be honest.
Yeah, it's very weird, and then we start being like, why are all the Maquis, going into comas?
Right.
And it looks like they've been forcibly mind melded with.
I
Tuvok.
think it was on purpose because because it was after they had made contact with the Alpha Quadrant. So
Yeah,
the guy
he was slipping.
That's right. There was a secret message in Tuvok's
letter,
and he was doing Detective Tuvok, but didn't detect himself.
Yep.
Tuvok. I do remember that.
But he did eventually figure it out.
He did. After forcibly melding Chakotay.
Poor Chakotay.
Whoopsie. Last one for you guys, and that's another Tuvok 7 meld in Workforce.
Which one is? Oh, is that the one where Janeway winds up?
Most of the crew winds up like brainwashed to be laborers on this shitty planet.
Yeah, and Janeway meets that boy she likes.
I really like that. Is it a two-parter or just a one-parter?
It's a two-parter.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
Yeah,
I remember liking that one a lot.
Yeah, that's a good one.
We were all like, she should have taken him with her.
He should have. Why can't you?
Yeah.
He's not your crew. You can bang him.
Also, like, Kirk brought some broad that made him drink Miller Lite to the future with him. You telling me that Janeway couldn't take this dude?
I think he wanted to stay on his home world, which, I mean, I guess if you want to be lame.
What a fucking loser.
Poor that guy. But the Tuvok meld on 7 is basically a Tuvok figures out what's going on and needs to, like, tell other people and figures out 7 is the most important person to tell it because she's got the Borg bits and she'll figure it out.
Yeah, and isn't she also like a supervisor or something?
Something like that, yeah.
And he's also brainwashed, but snaps out of it, or Chakotay gets him, or it's been a while.
No, he gets captured again by the people who have kidnapped the Enterprise, the Voyager crew, and thrown in with Dr. Jerkface.
Okay.
Who tries to re-brain wipe him.
Right.
But 7 has already come to on her own from the Mind Melds, so she saves the rest of everybody else.
Yeah. Meldin, Borg, and, again, no one plays Monopoly.
No one. But maybe chess!
Ooh, no. God. Too much chess.
Yeah, well...
Play checkers.
We'll see what they play next week on Star Trek Discovery when we talk about the next episode.
Ooh!
Called... The Red Angel.
This whole season could be called that.
We're going to have a big reveal. I hope so.
Put your money down now. I bet it is Dr. McCoy.
Clearly.
It's a different Spock.
Across the Spockerverse.
They CGI'd a Nimoy face.
It's going to be a red version of Arium.
No, it's the original concept Red Spock.
What's Red Spock?
They originally wanted Spock to be red.
Oh right, but they were like, he's just devil. That's just
yeah,
a devil.
like the
You're
pointed
just describing
ears.
A devil.
Yeah, pointed ears and red skin. That's too much. Pick one or the other. So they went with the
pointy
ears.
Tail.
I'm glad for his sake that they went with the ears and not the red makeup, because I feel
terrible.
like that would have sucked, and it probably would have made with some kind of poison in the 60s.
But anyway, yeah, so that's coming up next week on our show. Are we doing a blog activity next
Yeah, we already said we have the Enterprise Mind Melds to talk about.
We got several more Mind Melds.
TBD if we also do... I think we can also do the Kelvins, and TBD if we cover the Discovery ones as well.
Yeah,
we'll see.
We'll have some T'Pol action, so strap on for that. And other than that, you can catch our podcast on Star to Steer Her By. That's the name of our podcast. You can find us on SoundCloud. You can find us on Tumblr, SSHB Podcast, Facebook, Blue Sky, all the usual places you get podcasts.
YouTube.
Wherever you found us this time, we'll be there.
We'll
still be there.
Find us before you lose out.
Yeah.
And remember, there's no tariffs on this podcast.
Exactly.
We will still be completely free.
Made in America. So, there you go. My name has been Jake.
This has been Chris.
This has been Ames.
And this is always Caitlin.
Bye.
Bye.
Ciao. Sort of shaped like the old Nokia.
Thank you, Ames.
A Nokia? You say things so weird sometimes.
I do.
Everyone says Nokia.
Yeah, they do. But
You'll say Stamets constantly.
I caught myself on an edit. I was like, fuck. But it's gonna have like
I caught myself on an edit, so you didn't catch yourself.
Well, no, yeah, like what it means, I heard myself.
He got to the edit and was like, "Fuck me."
Yeah, exactly.
He like recorded over it. Was like, "Stamets!"
I should do that. I should record like a Stamets and just
yeah,
paste it over.
Black.